How did a poor farmer boy who also served time in prison create an imperium with a net worth of $280 billion? A new Lamborghini sports car typically costs just over $200,000, not something everybody can easily afford. So how did he go from 0 to 100, and how did he make the impossible possible? Make sure to watch until the end of the video in order to not miss out on the plot twist we are going to bring to light. It all started with Ferruccio Lamborghini back in his farmer days. He was born on the family farm in Renato, a town north of Bologna. His family were grape growers, but from a young age he realized that he did not wish to follow his father's footsteps. He was more interested in farming machinery than actual farming, since Ferruccio was crazy about fast cars and motorcycles. But how did he gain the knowledge and experience? He enrolled in an industrial technology program at a university outside Bologna, which he finished in 1940. But then, dark times arrived. Ferruccio was called for service in World War II. He decided to join the Italian Air Force, where he became in charge of the repair of military vehicles. Although he was getting much more knowledge and experience, this was not the life Lamborghini dreamed about. He wishes to go home, but in 1945, something happened that no one could have foreseen. The island Ferruccio has been working on falls in the hands of the British, so they imprisoned him. For the next year, he was definitely not able to go home, but luckily in 1946, he was set free. Now it was time for him to decide for his next move. Ferruccio was figuring out his options. Because of his previous work, he had a thorough understanding of farm tractors and military equipment. Therefore, he believed that figuring out how to combine the two was essential. He started messing around with cars at first, but this didn't work out, so he started what he knew best: tractors. That year, 1947, Ferruccio established his company Lamborghini Trattori. Ironically, this was also the year when Ferrari was founded. You might wonder, why tractors? Well, Ferruccio noticed a shortage of agricultural equipment for farmers. Due to this, he began acquiring and recycling military vehicles. He expected to make losses first, as it was his first company, but the opposite was true. In the beginning, he only produced one tractor per month, but after a few months, business was booming. So he increased from producing one tractor per week to more than 4. After more success and growth, the company opened a new tractor manufacturing facility in 1956. Because of how well his business was doing, he grew it and began producing air conditioners and heaters for buildings. As a result, he transformed from a well-known tractor manufacturer to a successful businessman, setting him on the route for more success. But then, the biggest automotive conflict of the 20th century happened. Something people still talk about nowadays. Ferraris have always been linked to wealth, luxury, power, and speed. Some believe they are the world's greatest automobiles. The company has produced the most expensive cars in history and is one of the most well-known brands in the world. The cars are driven by wealthy actors, business people, and entrepreneurs. Ferruccio, though, didn't seem to be all that convinced. He was living a luxurious life and bought himself a Ferrari 250 GT. In the beginning, he enjoyed driving this car. However, he criticized the automakers as well. He once remarked that although Ferraris were amazing cars, they were also too loud and aggressive. He even described them as repurposed race cars with poor interiors at one point. Then, everything became even worse. Ferruccio experienced several times that the car was having clutch problems, even after getting the car checked up by Ferrari's garage. He decided enough was enough because it kept happening. He sent one of his tractor mechanics to look into the problem, and what they discovered was shocking. After the engine disassembly and transmission, the mechanic saw that the clutch on Ferruccio's tractors and the clutch on the car were identical. Although this clutch was a common feature of more cars at the time, it was also a clutch that was easily available for purchase. This finding did not at all please the wealthy tractor maker. He understood that he was paying 100 times as much every time he purchased a clutch. It felt like a stab through his heart. He couldn't understand why somebody would operate such a high-end vehicle with a poor clutch. He decided to visit the Ferrari site and discuss his results with Enzo Ferrari, the company's creator. But guess what? This initial interaction was ultimately resulted in the historic Lamborghini-Ferrari collision. The story has been told and retold numerous times since Enzo and Ferruccio met. Since the major characters of the story are long dead, we can only rely on one man who claims to know the complete truth. The man, Valentino Balboni, says he was very close to Lamborghini due to his 40 years of service to Lamborghini. According to Valentino, his boss Ferruccio Lamborghini started the dialogue between him and Ferrari with the following statement: "You built your beautiful cars out of my tractor components. How can you call yourself a luxury car brand?" Enzo Ferrari reacted violently and uttered something along those lines: "You shouldn't complain about driving the most luxurious cars in the world when you work with tractors and are just a farmer." Enzo expressed to Lamborghini that Ferrari should manage the automobile industry because he was just a tractor manufacturer and should stick to producing agricultural equipment. Naturally, this infuriated Ferruccio even more, and he replied by saying, "I am a farmer, that is true, but I'll teach you how to build sports vehicles from scratch to show you what a good car should look like." This was the beginning of the end for Ferrari. Ferruccio was so furious that he decided to build the best sports car ever, the Lamborghini. He formally established the automobile manufacturer in May 1963 in a little village. Ferruccio put much pressure on the factory's construction since he had to prove himself to be better than his biggest competitor, Ferrari. So it was completed in just 1 year. He immediately began searching for the best team members, even enlisting several Ferrari ex-employees, including Giotto Bizzarini, Franco Scaglioni, and Gianpaolo Dallara. What had to be done was clear: create an extravagant, powerful GT capable of at least 240 kilometers per hour. The Lamborghini 350 GT was the outcome, and after collecting several data, it was clear to Ferruccio that his Lamborghini outperformed Ferrari. Ferruccio was euphoric and proud because he kept his promise to himself. He confirms the statement that if you believe in yourself, everything is possible. But how does the story end? However, you should not underestimate the amount of units sold by Lamborghini. One of its best-selling models is the Lamborghini Huracan, which has been sold more than 14,000 times. And now with the rise of the new SUV Urus and other models, there's a chance they will overperform themselves once again. So for now, the story has got the future. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to see more. Also, put on your notifications because we will be back sooner than you think with another amazing story. Till then, take care.